Hello everyone. In this lesson, we are going to learn about string manipulation in SQL using some string functions. String functions are used to perform an operation on an input string and return an output string. Some of the string functions are left, right, trim, concat, replace, etc. We will see the examples for them one by one. First, let us see left and right string functions. As the name suggests, left function is used to select a substring from the left of a given string, whereas right function is used to select a substring from the right of a given string. Let us take an example. Suppose we need to fetch the 3-digit product ID from the order details table. So let us consider the order details table having 5 columns: order number, product code, the quantity ordered for that particular order. Then we have the price each column and then the order line number. Here we can see that the product code column has some product codes in which the starting 3 digits are different. So we need to fetch these 3 digits from the product code, which is the product ID. So our output should look like the order number, the product code and the product ID. From where is the product ID fetched? From the starting 3 digits of the product code. For example, in first row, the product code is S18_1749. So the product ID is starting 3 digits, that is S18. Similar goes for the second row, that is S20T_1749. Hence, the first 3 digits are S22. Hence, the product ID is S22. Now, let's go to Metabase and try to write the query for this. So here we have the question. First, let us see our table. Select star from our table name, that is CR order details. So here we have 5 columns and n number of rows where the product code is different. Now we need the 3 digits of the product code. So let us use the left string function. Select, let me select the product code. Let me select the order number as well. And let me select the product ID, that is left of which column? The product code column. And how many number of digits? 3 digits. As I'll give an alias to it, which is product ID. From our table name is order details table. Now let me run this query. And here you see we've got 3 columns: the order number, the product code from the CR order details table, and finally a new column which is product ID, which we got from left of product code with the 3 digits. Let us take example of the first row where the product code is S18_1749. So the product ID is S18. That is the first 3 digits. And why the first 3 digits? Because we have used left. And left means it takes the substring from the left of the main string. Let us take another example. S24_3969. So the product ID is the first 3 digits, which is S24. We have here S10_1949. So the product ID is S10. Now suppose we have a question to fetch the last 4 digits of the product code. How will you do that? Let me take the same query. Instead of left, let me use the string function right, and I need the 4 digits. So I will use 4. Now let me run this query. So we see we've got the last 4 digits. For example, S10_1949, the last 4 digits are 1949. Similar goes with the other rows as well. Now let us take some more examples. Let us take one more problem. You need to find the number of employees whose name starts with A, B, C, D and so on from the employees info table. First, let us see the table. Select star from our employees info table. So let us see what all columns it has. It has all the employee information, like the employee ID, his first and last name, his email, hire date, his department, his gender, salary, and the region. So now they are asking that we need to find the number of employees whose name starts with. So we have here first name column. So we can use the first name column, right? Now we need the first letter of the first name. How can we get that? Let us try to use the left. Left of first name column. And how many digits we need? We just need one digit. That's the first letter. Let me take this as an alias with the first letter. Let me take the first name column as well. From our employees info table. Let me just run this. Now we've got that. All the first letters from the employees' names. For example, Brian, it's B. Noreen, it's N. Chala, it's C. Alfonso, it's A. Vernie, it's V. Okay. Now we need to find the count of the first names. That is the total number of employees. And how do we do that? Can you pause the video and try to use any aggregation function for this? We can use the count of the first name. And we can group by the first letter. As we can see, the employees with letters starting with B are 73. But I need this in order. So let me even tell order by clause. Now let me run this. Now I can see that the employee's name who starts with A are 78, with B are 73, C 88, D 53, so on and so forth. Now, let me take one more problem. We need to find the list of the employees whose name starts and ends with a vowel. Again, we are considering the same table. Select star from table name. So here, can you try to write the query for this using the first name column? I'll give you a hint. You can use both the string functions here, that is left and right, to get the first and the last letter of the first name. Now let me write query for this. So what do we need? We need the first letter. So I will do left of first name with digits 1 as first letter, and I'll take right of the same column, that is first name, again only one digit, as the last letter. I'll also take the first name in my select clause. I will do from my employees info table. Let me run this query first. So here, as I can see that Zain is Z-N-E, Ben is B-N-N, Cleve is C-N-E. Okay, so we have got the first and the last letter. Now our question is that both our first and last letter should be a vowel. So how can we do that? I can simply write my first letter should be in A, E, I. So characters A, E, I, A, and U. And also my last letter should be in A, I, L, and U. Okay, now let me order them. Order by my first letter. Okay, so I have got all the employees lists whose name starts and ends with a vowel. So you can solve this question in many ways. This is one of the way in which we can solve this. Now let us go back and see the syntax of left and right. This is quite straightforward as we had seen. We use the keywords left and right, and inside the braces we have two characters, which is string and the number of characters. String is the string which you need to extract the substring from. The number of characters is how many number of digits or characters you want to extract from that string. If the number of characters exceeds the number of characters in the string, then it will return the complete string. Now let us see some other string functions. Trim, ltrim and rtrim. Trim function is used to remove the leading and trailing spaces from a string. Ltrim, it is used to remove the leading spaces from a string, whereas rtrim is used to remove the trailing spaces from a string. Let us go to Metabase and see some example. Let us see the table. Our orders table. Select star from TR orders. So this table has these columns which is having all the order information like the order number, the date of the order, the ship date, the status of the order and some comments on the order. Now let us try to use the comments column. Let us try to trim the comments. I'll give an alias as trimmed comments, and I'll also take the comments in our select clause from our TR orders table. Now let me run this. So this trim command, it trims the leading and lagging spaces or the trailing spaces from the column. Now we can use the trim command in one more way. For example, you see the command here which is ... shipped and ... Suppose I want to remove those dots. What I'll do is I will trim dot from my comments column and I will run this. So as you can see in my trim comments, these dots are being trimmed off from my string and wherever it has been in the next or other rows. Similarly, instead of trim, I can use ltrim. This will remove the leading spaces from your comments. Rtrim will remove the lagging or the trailing spaces from your comments column. So I don't need these empty spaces in my response. So I will simply do where comments is not equal to empty. Okay. So rtrim removes the trailing spaces, ltrim the leading spaces, and trim removes both the leading and the trailing spaces. Now let's see the syntax of this. The syntax of this is very easy to understand, where we use the trim, rtrim and ltrim keywords. In the bracket, we use the string which we want to be trimmed. Now to summarize, in this lesson, we have learned the string functions left, right. As the name suggests, left is used to select a substring from the left. Right is used to select a substring from the right of a given string. Ltrim, rtrim and trim are used to remove the leading and trailing spaces from a string. Well, in this lesson, we have learnt some of the string functions. Now in the coming lesson, we will learn other string functions such as substring, concat, replace, etc. So stay tuned. Thank you.